Hi everybody, this is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and today is my family's first day of distance learning, and I think a lot of families in San Antonio and a lot of families across the country are experiencing this as well. So we had kind of a second week of spring break last week, and Becca says hi. Hi Becca, thank you. But today was the day that we got an email from the school. So my kids go to Great Hearts Monte Vista. We got an email about a little after 8 a.m. with the website and the password to log in to download their packets of the schoolwork that they have for this week. And it has like a table of contents. It has kind of instructions on how to spread it out over the course of the week. And so I started printing it out. So they have it set up so that you can either download it and print it at home, which in some ways that's preferable because then we're not going to the campus and we're not interacting with any of the teachers. So, that's a better way to practice social distancing. But on the other hand, not every family has a printer or paper or ink or things like that at home. So right now on campus they're having packet pickup. So depending on which campus, they might have like a particular window for families with your last name starts with C, then you go at this certain time, and they have it set up so it's like you go, you do your hand sanitizer, you pick up your packet, you go. So they're trying to spread it out so that families aren't interacting with each other and not getting too close to any of the teachers. So this is all just really strange, isn't it? I mean, who would have thought that this is what we would be doing like in late March, that we would be at home with our kids, that we would have these packets to download. Yeah, it just feels really strange. So we'll see how this goes. So right now, okay, so last week I did these inside and my kids were playing outside. This time they are right now, I decided to do literature first. So they have, like, my son had his hard copy of his book. He didn't leave it in his locker. He actually had it with him. So he's got his book open. He also has the audiobook just for extra help. He has a spiral notebook from our stash at home. And so he's reading, listening, and annotating so that make sure he really soaks in what they're reading. And then, so the book they're reading right now is White Fang by Jack London. And my daughter, they're just starting a new book, but she had already taken her book to school because she's prepared. She's a good student. Unfortunately, so all of those materials are in their desk. So in her packet, what the teachers did was, I'm trying to think of it, so they had an electronic way to access it, but and actually I think that book is in the public domain. I know it's a challenge for teachers when they want to share instructional materials that are copyrighted because they can't just make them publicly available. That is copyright infringement. So they have to have some kind of like password protected system so they can share it only with their students, and then it's an academic fair use, which is an exception to copyright infringement. So this is not meant as legal advice. I'm not a copyright lawyer. If any experts want to weigh in and kind of refine that, please do so in the comments. But anyway, if you're wondering, well, why can't they just post the book? Well, if it's still under copyright, they can't. So she's got her. I think we had already bought it on Kindle, so she's accessing it on her iPad, and then in the packet there are. It looks just like what the packet they would have printed and handed out normally, where there's some short answer and some long answer questions to help to make sure the students are comprehending what they're reading. And it's the thing we can't really recreate is the kind of discussion that they have in their class, and that's one of the things I love about my kids' school is that they get them excited and talking about books. They get them like kind of challenging each other, and like pulling things out of the story and then sharing it with the group. There's not really a good way to recreate that, at least not. So the plan is that school is definitely closed for this week and next week. We will definitely have these packets to download or pick up. So today we downloaded a packet. It's due next Monday. Next Monday there will be another packet to download due the week after. I just want to really salute the teachers, like especially, I haven't looked that closely at my son's packet yet. He just jumped into literature, but looking at my daughter's packet, like there's a lot of preparation that went into this, and I mean, this is not school light. I mean, this is the real deal. Like they're as far as the academic material, like they're covering all the stuff. I mean, there's Spanish, there's science, there's history. Yeah, they've got all the literature questions. They've got they're still supposed to do a reading log. There's poetry recitation. I mean, the continuity is definitely there, and just huge thanks to the teachers for all the work to put the curriculum together, because that takes a load off us as parents, right? I mean, we're not. I mean, I've done homeschooling before, and I know how hard it is to like find curriculum that's on the right level, and that just that you have a sense that you're like there's not gaps, and you know, there's just. Yeah, I mean, I think last week I shared like how you can download the app for the TEKS, right? And so you can see like what our fourth graders supposed to be learning in Texas. But there's just a big jump between, you know, that kind of that outline of that goals versus, you know, like the actual activities that a student is supposed to do, and what they're supposed to be soaking up from the teacher. So. Yeah, I'm really thankful to the teachers. They are accessible by email. So far I don't have any questions, but one thing I am going to do this week is each day ask my kid to write a little note to each teacher, and then we'll probably either scan them and email them in, or we might drop them off when we turn in the packet next Monday, because we want them to know how much we appreciate them, and we miss them. And like my daughter loves like knock jokes and kind of, you know, kind of corny jokes, and you know, she's always telling corny jokes to her teacher. So I'll see if maybe she can, maybe my daughter can like write down some corny jokes and share those, because that way her teachers can get the full Annika experience with the corny jokes. Yeah, I admit when I look at that packet, it feels intimidating, because it feels like, you know, how are we going to get all this done this week? And, you know, it helps you appreciate the teachers. But so one thing we did was I got out my Google Sheets, and I did make a little calendar, so a little schedule for this week. Now this looks very organized, but trust me, I built in a lot of kind of squishy time. There's screen time on here. There's chores. There's playing outside. So I mean, it's really only. It's only a couple hours a day of academics, plus maybe another hour or so of reading, you know, but like, you know, extra time for us to be, you know, to be playing outside and cooking and doing crafts and stuff, because I just think it's, you know, like they're not able to interact with all their classmates, and they're not in their routine, right? And like us as a family, we're used to going to a lot of the like arts and museums and things, and we're not able to do that either. So you know, we have to find like kind of other sources of joy to make up for the things we're missing. And yeah, just like filling the day with a whole lot of academic stuff that's not going to work. So yeah, so the plan is to ease into this. You know, there is time. I'm hoping that like as we get a sense of what's in the packet, that like the time that they're working at the kitchen table, they'll be able to work. I'll be able to do some work related to the nonprofit, because even though like we closed out all our events, you know, we're still trying to put good content on the website, and we're trying to you know, kind of plan for the future. I mean, you know, there's still work to do. So yeah, it's just a very unsettled feeling today, and I just kind of have to own that I really don't feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to help them feel safe. I don't know how long this is going to last. I feel like the teachers are working really hard. I know the administrators are working really hard, they're, you know, but we're all operating with a lot of uncertainty, and really the best thing you can do is just like try to come at each situation to be as helpful and constructive as we can. And so like I could look at this packet and feel really intimidated by it, or I could just be like, well, let's get a spoon and let's do this one bite at a time, you know. And I could get mad at the teachers for like, how do they expect us to do this? But that's not where they're coming from, right? They love these children and they want them to be prepared to go back into school once things go back to some kind of normal, right? We don't want kids to get behind, and you know, someday you know, like I still want my kids to graduate high school. I still want them to go to college, and I want them to build up this learning. You know, so we'll do the best we can while we're practicing social distancing, while kind of living with the uncertainty that we don't know how long this is going to last. And just try to come at it with as much goodwill as we can, and you know, be thankful for our blessings. We have a printer at home. We were well stocked on paper and toner. I know not everyone is. I hope that you've got some network you can plug into, like, you know, contact your kid's school and get help. Ask your neighbors if anyone's got a ream of paper they can share. You know, find the print shops that are still open. You know, just, and I know there are a lot of families that don't have, you know, that don't have good internet access or don't have a computer at home, right? All they have is a phone, or their data plan is limited, or, you know. So we all need to be thinking about how we can help those families, right? And there are even families who aren't even ready to think about school because they're still trying to get meals, right? And that's, so like in the last episode I talked about, you know, there's meal pickup programs at school. There's the food bank. There's Meals on Wheels. So, I mean, we just want everyone to get through this okay, right? And we're all going to stay home so that we don't spread the germs, so that the people who do get really sick can get the care they need at hospitals, and even when there's not enough supplies to go around, okay? So hopefully there will be enough supplies. Hopefully there will be enough beds in the hospitals so that we can all get through this. So, okay? So compared to what other people are experiencing, me being intimidated by the packet is not that big a deal. So I'm going to go back inside. I'll see how literature is going, see how the annotation process is going. You know, we have the San Antonio Charter Moms discussion group as a place to share. So if you have questions, if you are stressed out, if you have concerns, we got a thread going today about, you know, how is your distance learning experience going? So please, if you're not already a member, please join the group. If you are a member, please comment on the thread. Tell us how your first day of distance learning is going. So I would say ours is off to a pretty good start, but I feel intimidated and I feel just uncertain. So yeah. All right. Well, honestly, I haven't even thought about what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I guess I meant to talk about technology today, but I feel like we're just going to have to take this as it comes. So good luck today, and share your thoughts in the discussion group. All right, bye y'all.